Thank you for joining us on another session of Block Chat. Today, it's with Daniel and myself. Dennis is not available this time, although it's a very important session. Daniel will tell us today about first who turns two. So, the first subject is who turns two. Daniel will tell us about that. Why is that significant? And we'll take it from there. We'll talk about, so that you stay with us till the end, we will talk about the importance of having tokenized real estate within your portfolio. So, Daniel, how are you?
Hi there. Good afternoon, Makram. Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good afternoon. Very well, very well. Thank you. Amazing. So, let's go ahead with who turns two.
Well, yeah, of course. It's a big birthday today, and it's Oceanpoint, of course.
Okay.
Turning the big two today.
Yeah. So
Very
Oceanpoint turns two, guys. And Daniel, tell us more about. I'll ask you a few questions so that I'll give you time after that. Why is that significant? What has Oceanpoint achieved over the past 2 years, including the support of getting people to tokenize property so that they can probably stake? And we have other pools as well now, similar to the liquidity pool, which is very prominent and has great returns, great rewards. And why is that significant? And at the same time, what was the benefit to people who have early on tokenized and staked real estate? Like, were they interesting benefits? Are people happy with that? I'll give you the screen and it's yours.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think in terms of the birthday, it's of significance because it gives everybody from the team to the community to all other stakeholders that milestone to be able to look back at what's been achieved in the year prior, and then also the year to date from inception. And it's great to do that on the second birthday of Oceanpoint here, because we can see that things across the board have been all developing and growing. You know, we're at 92 properties now tokenized, and that's pushing $82 million. And that's across 19 countries in the world, and that pipeline of tokenization continues to grow. The community continues to grow, and I think a day like the second birthday is a day that we can all sit back and reflect on what's been done prior and where we are and where we're going.
Yeah. So it's significant, guys. Just to tell you about Oceanpoint, and we'll not talk much about the why is Oceanpoint there. I'm sure that everyone knows that. If you don't, please feel free to go through previous block chats, and you can go through the docs and know more about it. But let's talk about the significance of the impact that had on people who staked early on. So there's people who have tokenized property. And by the way, I had the pleasure last week to sit with the father, who's the chairman of a company where the son, who's our age, convinced his father and the board to tokenize and stake their property a year ago or a year and a half ago. And then they got the reward. So the father was very interested. And the father was traveling through Dubai for one night. And I had that honor that he visited me at my home. And I sat with him to explain how and why and what. Yeah. So he was very interested to know how tokenization, how staking, and what are the benefits, and where it's coming from. And I explained to him that, look, we rewarded people because they supported the ecosystem. At the end of the day, in every business, in every industry, while starting, you need to create that economy where you incentivize people to join you. And then after that, people will start joining you more often. So,
well, that's, right. The feedback that we've been getting from the early adopters is that the way in which Oceanpoint was set up, i.e. to reward people for participating in the community, in the various different pools or different community activities. And what we've heard from the early investors, the early adopters and tokenizers, is that they've seen the rewards of this, that it's actually worked. Early adopters, earlier members of the community have seen rewards for that early adoption, and it's great to hear that feedback. And then we can, of course, see that new members to the community, new members to the protocol, are still seeing some really positive incentivized pools to participate in through Oceanpoint. Of course, one of the newest ones and one of the most exciting at the moment, in my opinion, is the community issuer pool, where, of course, you can go onto Oceanpoint and purchase BSPT tokens in a property, and then take those BSPT tokens, which relate to a specific asset, and actually stake them through Oceanpoint. Sacrifice the rental income, the respective rental income you would have received from holding those tokens, and instead receive an APY from the protocol, which is a really favorable APY at the moment, and a really exciting pool, in my opinion, because I think that really starts to see real estate on train in practice being used in pools. So that's really exciting, and the feedback across the board from users of the protocol is incredible, right?
Guys, I'm sure you noticed that Daniel gives it as it is, and he's our risk guy. Yeah, he's not our sales, our marketing guy. No, he's nothing like us. He's our risk guy. So today I'm gonna play a game with Daniel. Daniel, as the risk guy, would need to answer a few questions, which probably are tough questions. Daniel, have you ever bought a property token?
Yes.
Very good. Oh, I was scared that you would say no, by the way. Okay. And
oh no, we are what we eat, and
trust me, I haven't asked him this question before, so I really did not know. Okay, so you've bought a property token.
That's correct. So
Why?
I bought for the reasons of wanting to participate as a community member in the pools that are available on Oceanpoint, and actually to be able to experience the user interface, experience the mechanics of the pools, and actually experience where the protocol is creating value for the community members. So once the opportunity became available as a community member to purchase a small amount of property tokens through Oceanpoint, I believe in the protocol and the solutions available there. So I jumped at the opportunity and bought a very small amount of BSPT tokens through Oceanpoint, and staked in the protocol. And that's been several months now that they've been sat there, and it's excellent. It's excellent to see not only the APY of the pool, but actually the pool size growing, along with the other pools that are on there on the protocol as well.
So look, let me tell you, because I have a different perspective than Daniel, for example. I'm buying property tokens, and I say for my son, I had a chat with Dennis before about that, and I'm buying them for my son. I have a 9-year-old, and I buy him property tokens, and I buy him few monthly. So some property tokens is something I tick on monthly. I stake half of those, and I keep half of those unstaked. Okay, for the rewards, the distributions from the rental. Now, because to me it's cash flow. Yeah, remember, I'm the real estate guy. I'm not the tech guy. This is what I understand. So, but here is an important view from two different people, and from someone who is a risk. So somebody whose job is managing risk and evaluating risk. Probably looks at risk in a different way. Like, for example, a banker, and so do I, look at money as a product. To me, money is a product. Money is not currency. To a banker, money is a product. It's not currency. It's to be sold and bought. Yeah, he sells you money for more than he buys money, and this is how he makes money. Okay, the arbitrage of what is in between. To me, money is a product. To Daniel, risk is something different to what every average Joe sees. To Daniel, risk is something that you can manage, that you need to assess, that you need to evaluate, and part of risk is a product to him. So let's go to Daniel and see. Daniel, today you have, let's call it a portfolio, and we don't want to grow it a big portfolio. We want to make it a small portfolio, a $50,000 portfolio, just because not everyone listening to us has the $10 million, $50 million, and $500 million. And regardless, even those who do, a 50,000 and the 500,000 and the 500 million run by the same theories, although practice them in a different way. So let's go through that, and then hopefully every person with us today who has 5,000 will apply the 50,000 theory, and hopefully will get 50 million. So let's go with that assumption that you have 50,000 given to you today as a portfolio, and where would again, I would not ask you to have a distribution of assets in it because that's not our subject, but where would property tokens sit in it? Why and how? Not only from a reward perspective, from a target, why would you have property rewards? Because we all know that some of the assets in our portfolio are there to make APY. Some of the assets are there to protect our portfolio in a certain way. Some of the assets are a certain type of hedge, which is also a type of protection. Some of the assets are for those who have assets that are bets. Okay, they are more this blip that is possible and hopefully will come. So where do property tokens and tokenized property sit in that portfolio, and what percentage would you see it should be?
Sure. Yeah. Well, first, I think we should look at the reasons why you would arrive at BSPT tokens or property tokens of any type instead of the alternatives when trying to enter the real estate asset class. So first of all, with this portfolio of 50,000, if we would say it would be dedicated fully to the investment of real estate, you can almost rule out purchasing a singular property without leveraging some debt on there. Of course, this is a model that is successful throughout the world, but there's some drawbacks to that. Of course, there's a lot of management that goes into that, and in addition to being very undiversified, both by location, by property type, and so on. So you'd rule that out first of all with the portfolio size. Next, you'd perhaps look at REITs before you came to property tokens. Again, it gives you the opportunity to diversify, which the singular property wouldn't. But it gives you no agency, no autonomy over where you invest, how you invest, and when. So then, of course, you arrive at property tokens, and this whole new avenue opens up to you where you can build up a portfolio which is just a basket of assets where they're diversified to meet your specific needs. And of course, being able to purchase property tokens from all over the world in all different property segments, property type segments, gives the opportunity to really diversify incredibly well. And what we mean here by diversification, an analogy that I've always liked is a very simple one, but of course, if you're building a portfolio of stocks or assets of any sort, they have a correlation to one another. And what you're trying to do is hedge for that. So if you were to invest in a lollipop company, you may do well in the summer, but you'd probably do pretty poor in the winter. So you may invest in an umbrella company that would do good in the winter and bad in the summer. And that's going to actually balance out your portfolio and bring up the average return. And what you can do here with property tokens is do that with your basket. So the 50,000 could be spread across multiple regions of the world in order to diversify from macroeconomic and political risk. You could then start to diversify by property segment. So a mixture of perhaps vacation properties, office, rentals, long-term tenant, homeowner, family homes, and so on. And then again, you can also diversify further down there with specifics on the actual type of property, how it's used, and who it's used by. And these tools give you an incredible opportunity to create a portfolio that really maximizes your return and reduces the risk.
Do Tokalytics help people understand what property stands for what?
Absolutely, and that's our aim with Tokalytics. Tokenlytics will give any investor who's looking to add a new property token to their portfolio, the ability to have a clear line of sight to the risks associated with the property. So we're talking full analytical reporting on that investment property, wherever it be in the world and whatever type of property it may be. And that's incredibly powerful and a necessity when purchasing into property tokens, I believe.
So for those who are asking, what is Tokenlytics?
We go.
You just need to wait to see. But if
Yeah.
you are in property tokenization, get in touch with us today. Get in touch with Daniel, and you can be a partner in accessing Tokenlytics. Tokenlytics is not meant only for us. Tokenlytics is our, let's say, gift, because at the end of the day, we are a commercial entity. But we also believe and understand that at this time, there's no competition. At this time in our industry strip of life, there is only support. This is a element of support from us to the whole industry, so that our industry can stand more transparent. Because tokenization of real estate, it's not tokenization and it's not real estate. It's a marriage between two industries, and a new industry is blossoming. So Tokenlytics would mean much to you. So if you're interested to be a partner in that and get access to that or know more about it before the market, because the market doesn't know about it yet, get in touch with Daniel, and Daniel will run you through it, and maybe you'll sign up. And maybe it costs you much, and maybe it costs you none. So you need to get in touch with Daniel to know more about what does it cost you to access such a tool, which usually costs so much, and maybe it'll cost you more here. Nobody knows. Daniel will be able to tell you. Daniel, we don't want to make it long today. We want to make it as short as possible, because I go back and celebrate Oceanpoint.
Yeah. I will just say before we move on, though, on Tokenlytics, that we really do see Tokenlytics as more than just a suite of analytical tools, but also a vehicle to drive forward transparency within Web3. So please do get in contact if you may not be a tokenizer of real-world assets specifically, but if you're a big believer in transparency throughout Web3, and you want to help drive that purpose with us, please do get in contact.
At the end of the day, anyone listening today and may have an interest in anything to do with real estate tokenization, and you are part of a community, or you would like to be part of a community, feel free to get in touch also with Cody and the guys. And you can be an ambassador, you can form a regional hub. And we've talked about that in the previous block chat. So please refer to that and see more about it. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is locally connecting the world. So there is localities everywhere, and they're all connected, but it's local. So it's so personal. So imagine it's every 5 guys and their dog, yet all the dogs are connected. So that's the idea behind what we are doing, and because real estate is very local, it's very important that we are able to achieve that level of connection, but that level of personalization. It's so personal. It's you and your community, because real estate in your community is different to real estate in mine. Daniel lives in the UK, I live in Dubai. He cannot claim to understand my market. I cannot claim to understand his. If he lives in Park Lane, I believe he probably wouldn't understand Queen's Park as good as people who do live and work there. And that's only a couple of streets far away. So this is real estate. It's very local. And yes, you may understand the broad science of real estate and art of doing it, but there's much more nitties and gritties of every region, every market, and every locality that we are able to tap into by having all of you in every one of those communities become a partner, become an ambassador, and form a regional hub. Daniel, you've been seeing people, because Daniel is in touch with many people who are unstaking currently and who are getting their rewards, and they verify ownership at the time they unstake to get the rewards, because we need to make sure that the person who staked held the property throughout the staking period, which is one of the rules of getting the rewards of staking. So you're engaging with people. What's the feedback you're getting? Are those people? So did staking achieve its purpose? So yes, we've given the rewards. It's not free rewards. We've given the rewards because they contributed, not economic value, but they contributed, or they showed interest in contributing to that ecosystem. The purpose is that those people motivate others, and those people themselves test the system and now are interested to engage further, so that they would sell their property in a tokenized manner, so that so that they engage properly with tokenization. Is it achieving that? Are you seeing people really interested? Are you seeing people really engaging on that level?
Absolutely. I think the early adopters and or even so not so early adopters that have carried out their 6-month staking period within the Oceanpoint protocol and are now looking to finalize that staking period and begin the vesting contract, the vesting schedule for their rewards. The feedback has been excellent. They're quite astounded with the return they've been able to achieve through contributing to the asset pool. And I think this is not only a level of satisfaction that they're seeing for themselves, but I've had several stakers actually now introduce business associates, colleagues, and so on to us based on their experience, based on them actually having a very a good experience end to end with their staking process. So it's actually helping to encourage not only new stakers but other industry participants from various countries that are interested in marketplace operator functions, staking functions, and all sorts of the different aspects of the protocol. So it's been absolutely great in terms of the feedback we've been getting.
Guys, it's very interesting to see people engaging and to see the idea of taking the right impact and thus achieving the purpose. And this is why we celebrate 2 years of Oceanpoint, because it's not only 2 years of existence, it's 2 years of successes. It's a second year of successes. So the thing that's very important over here as well is for people who are got the rewards, started the vesting period, they're releasing the rewards now. They are able to engage further in liquidity pools. They are able to engage further in the governance pool, and each gives a different type of reward engaging in. But it's very interesting to see that people are engaging in that, and to see that community is growing that way. And this is what it is. It's been an amazing journey, and I believe that on we go. Oceanpoint is achieving more and more of its purposes to be every day that passes. You remember that day when October, not that past, the October before, when we were sitting in Ljubljana, Old Town, that cold evening, Dennis, yourself, and myself, and we were having a heated argument about something in Oceanpoint, one of the functionalities of Oceanpoint, and it was pretty heated. After a night, we had a gathering the night before with Victor and Peter, and then Daniel and myself walked back to our apartment, which was around 2 blocks far away from where we were, or 3-4 blocks far away, and I remember that discussion, and that's at the start of when Oceanpoint existed. And today, we've come a long way. So I believe, thankfully, it's an interesting journey and a satisfying one to date, and you will see much more to come. Daniel, is there anything else you would like to tell our community today?
Well, I mean, first, of course, happy birthday to all members of the communities. This is your birthday as the community. You are Oceanpoint. So I think you should all give yourself a pat on the back and congratulate yourselves for being members of the community and helping to foster and encourage adoption. So congrats to you. And then also, of course, I'd like to drop a small little hint about some developments which the community will be seeing over the coming weeks and months in regards to Tokenlytics. I don't want to give away too much because there's there's going to be lots to say, but I will just say watch this space. A big campaign coming your way, lots of industry participants getting involved, and lots to be seen. So watch this space.
Yes, guys, really watch the space. Thank you so much, Daniel, for today. Guys, it's fresh, smooth, short, and crisp today. Yeah, we made it less than 30 minutes. It's the first time we ever do it. So probably now we can lay it on Dennis. We can say Dennis is the one who is usually prolonging it and making it longer than 30 minutes. To everyone at Blocksquare, thank you so much for all your efforts. Without the efforts of everyone, we wouldn't be here. For everyone in the community, thank you all for sticking around for all of this time, good times and bad times. Without every single member of you, there wouldn't be an Oceanpoint or a Blocksquare or anything similar to it. Enjoy the rest of your week. Until next time, have a good day.
Take care, everybody. Bye.